From Hollywood glamour and red carpet moments to cold concrete cell walls,
Years in prison today. He will serve all but one of those years simultaneously with a 30-year sentence for racketeering and sex trafficking.
here are 10 Hollywood stars currently rotting in jail, starting with the mogul whose downfall sparked a global movement. Harvey Weinstein, once a powerful film producer in Hollywood and co-founder of Miramax, is now a convicted sex offender and a central figure in the Me Too movement. In 2020, he was sentenced to 23 years in prison in New York for multiple sexual assault convictions. Although that conviction was overturned in 2024, Weinstein remains in prison due to a separate 2022 conviction in California, where he received a 16-year sentence for rape and sexual assault involving another woman. As of 2025, he faces a retrial in New York. Now in his 70s, reportedly in poor health and confined to a wheelchair, Weinstein continues to fight legal battles from behind bars. Weinstein's downfall wasn't an isolated case, as another Hollywood star also followed the same path. Danny Masterson, best known for his role on That 70s Show, was sentenced in 2023 to 30 years to life in prison for raping 2 women in the early 2000s. He is currently serving his sentence at California State Prison, Corcoran. The trial attracted widespread attention, partly because of Masterson's ties to the Church of Scientology, which was accused of trying to stop the victims from going to the police. After the conviction, many former friends and colleagues publicly distanced themselves. His wife, actress Bijou Phillips, filed for divorce soon after the sentencing. Masterson won't be eligible for parole until 2042, and his acting career and public image have been permanently damaged. While Danny's crimes led to outrage and isolation, our next star found herself facing legal consequences from a split-second tragic incident. You probably remember her for her role on Melrose Place. Amy Locane was involved in a tragic DUI crash in 2010 that resulted in the death of the 60-year-old Helene Seaman and serious injuries to her husband. Initially sentenced to 3 years in prison in 2013, Locane's case was re-evaluated, leading to multiple resentencings. In 2020, after her 4th sentencing, she received an 8-year term. She served time at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in New Jersey and was released on December 20th, 2024. Since her release, Locane has expressed deep remorse for her actions and the pain caused to both families involved. She's also reflected on the challenges of reintegrating into society after incarceration. As of 2025, she's no longer incarcerated but remains on supervised parole. Her acting career has not resumed, and she now leads a quiet life with her family in New Jersey. While Amy is attempting to rebuild her life after the tragic accident, another former star's downfall stems from crimes that shattered his career and legacy in a far more damaging way. Once celebrated as the king of R&B, R. Kelly now resides in a North Carolina federal prison, convicted of crimes that have shattered his career and legacy. In 2021, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison after being found guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking. His legal troubles worsened in 2023 when he received an additional 20-year sentence for child pornography charges, which runs concurrently with his original sentence. R. Kelly remains incarcerated with no possibility of early release. His music is banned, his accolades stripped away, and his reputation permanently tarnished. R. Kelly's fall from grace is complete. His career is over and his legacy is beyond repair. As R. Kelly falls, another infamous figure faces his own reckoning. Once a dominant force in the hip-hop world and co-founder of Death Row Records, Suge Knight's life took a dramatic turn in 2015. After a violent dispute outside a Compton restaurant, Knight ran over 2 men with his truck, resulting in the death of Terry Carter and injuries to Clee Sloan. In 2018, he pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 28 years in prison. Now in his late 50s, Knight serves his sentence at the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego, with a chance for parole in 2034. Though his life behind bars remains relatively quiet, Knight occasionally makes headlines with legal updates or rare interviews. While Knight's violent legacy continues behind bars, another celebrity's misguided actions took a shocking turn. Shannon Guess Richardson, a former actress with minor roles in The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries, was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison in 2014 for sending rice-and-laced letters to President Barack Obama and then New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg in 2013. Richardson initially attempted to frame her husband by falsely accusing him of mailing the letters. However, investigations revealed that she had sent the letters herself in an effort to implicate him. She pleaded guilty to possessing and producing a biological toxin, resulting in her conviction. As of 2025, Richardson remains incarcerated at the Federal Medical Center, Carswell in Texas, with a projected release date in 2028. Her case shocked the nation and ended her acting career. But our next star was a former child star with a chilling past. You won't believe what comes next. Skylar DeLeon, a former child actor known for his role in the Power Rangers, is currently on death row at San Quentin State Prison in California for the 2004 murders of Thomas and Jackie Hawks by drowning them. DeLeon and his accomplices posed as potential buyers for the Hawks yacht, then bound the couple to an anchor and threw them overboard alive. He was convicted in 2009 and sentenced to death. While incarcerated, DeLeon underwent a gender transition and now identifies as Skylar Sophia DeLeon. She's petitioned for gender reassignment surgery, which has sparked public debate about taxpayer funding for such procedures for inmates. DeLeon remains on death row with no scheduled execution date. Just when you think the drama couldn't get any more intense, this couple takes it to a whole new level. Todd and Julie Chrisley, former stars of the reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best, were sentenced in 2022 for federal crimes including tax evasion, conspiracy to defraud banks, and wire fraud. Todd received a 12-year sentence, which was later reduced to 10 years, and is currently serving time in Florida with a projected release in January 2033, while Julie was sentenced to 7 years, later reduced to 5, and is held in a Kentucky facility with a projected release in October 2028. The couple was convicted on charges of bank fraud, tax evasion, and conspiring to defraud the IRS. Julie was also convicted of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. Their children have publicly supported them, but their reality TV fame has vanished. In 2025, they remain behind bars, serving time for living a lifestyle funded by fraud. And speaking of falls from grace, let's turn to another reality TV star whose life took a similar turn. Once a star on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Jen Shah's lavish lifestyle came crashing down when she was sentenced in early 2023 to 6.5 years in prison for her involvement in a nationwide telemarketing scheme that defrauded elderly victims. She initially maintained her innocence, then she eventually pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Her sentence was later reduced with a projected release in November 2026. Shah is currently incarcerated at Federal Prison Camp Bryan in Texas. She's known for flaunting designer clothes and wealth on TV, but now she wears prison-issued uniforms and has kept a low profile. But what happens when a TV cop becomes a real-life criminal? In 2016, Michael Jace, known for his role as a police officer on The Shield, was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison for the 2014 murder of his wife, April Jace. During a heated argument in their Los Angeles home, Jace fatally shot April in front of their 2 young children. A jury convicted him of second-degree murder and he was sentenced in June 2016. Jace is currently incarcerated at California State Prison Corcoran. Once a familiar face on crime dramas, he's faded from public memory, now known only for his heinous act. As of 2025, nearly a decade after the crime, he remains behind bars with no chance out. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.